So since I was a child, and even today, I continue to face questions and people saying comments like, oh, girls cannot do this, or women cannot do that. Or even sometimes they ask me, Marta, are you gonna be embarking on board the vessel, being the only woman on board, like the only woman in the crew? But with determination and support, I kept and keep moving forward. My motivation has always been to demonstrate that women can achieve the same as men. Following this motivation, I decided to focus my job on the ocean and submersible engineering, an unknown world that is also a world where the women are conspicuously absent. For that reason, my main target is to break barriers in a traditionally male-dominated field. I am proud to be the first female engineer hired at Triton Submarines in the Spanish office. And, well, maybe you are questioning what you do at Triton Submarines. So we design, then we build, and we operate submersibles for the oceanic exploration. There's no slide? No, okay. So, as you may know, the ocean floor has been inhospitable and accessible and almost mythological. Thanks to the submersibles, we now can see the ocean with our own eyes and we can access to it. This marks a turning point in the whole history of oceanic exploration and research on our planet. We have conducted many dives around the world in each ocean. So as I was saying, we have conducted dives around the world in every ocean. We have conducted archaeological expeditions, recovery missions for plane crashes, etc. We can bring the expert to see the remains firsthand. The most important expedition that we did was the Titanic one. What the most fascinating thing about this expedition was to see how the ocean is consuming the Titanic, how it is reducing the vessel to its elementary form while providing shelter for many marine species. Another important expedition was the one trying to record the footage of the giant squid. We were the first company and the first team in the whole history to record footage of the giant squid. We also conducted the second dive to Antarctica after Cousteau. In those dives, the conditions were extreme, so what we found quite literally was an ocean gleaming with life. In such extreme conditions, it's very challenging for the animals to survive. So for that reason, that's why the most dominant predator were the invertebrates, just like 350 million years ago. Hence, these expeditions were akin to observing the ocean from the past. However, this is not the most incredible part of our mission, because we have surpassed all world records, building a sub that is capable to go and reach any depth on the Earth. We reached the deepest point, that is 10,928 meters. So in each dive, we discovered new marine species. For the first time, humans witnessed the roles, behaviors, and interactions of organisms in ecosystems found at almost 11 kilometers beneath the surface of the water. In these depths, there is extreme pressure, sunlight does not penetrate, so the ocean floor revealed an ecosystem teeming with life. Photosynthesis doesn't occur, so we challenge ourselves because we discover that our long-standing perceptions of how life originates was not how it was in the reality. So, in conclusion, these dives were like exploring another planet within our own planet. You can see the Eurethins plasticus, that is a species that we found about between 6,000 and 7,000 meters at depth. And you may wonder why you named this species plasticus. Because when we brought it to the surface, the scientists realized that it fed on plastic. Not only had this species evolved to adapt to pollution and human waste, but we will not know never what it fed on before human influence reached the deepest depths. So this also implies that we will never truly know our own planet before humans started contaminating it. What's crucial is that we are not just exploring the ocean floor, we are reaching the deepest point on our planet. The more dives we conduct, the more we explore, the more we will understand our ocean. We cannot forget that the ocean is important and is essential for human life. Our main mission is to democratize the ocean and bringing it closer to the public, whether it's billionaires on board yachts or scientists with research equipment. The evolution of the technology only ensures that in the future, these expeditions will be more accessible and much easier to everyone. But as you know, the ocean covers almost the 70% of the Earth's surface, and it's the environment that sustains most life. But what we do? Humans are polluting it. Our activities contribute to the global warming, contribute to the ocean acidification, and also change its chemical composition. It is very sad that when we reach the deepest point, we find, before discovering marine species, we found human waste. So that's very sad because only the 8% of the ocean is protected somehow, and we need to raise awareness worldwide because the ocean is a source of discoveries and much more. It's a sanctuary for many marine species. It serves like a heritage for different cultures, and we are only contaminating it. But recovery is possible because we know how nature can reclaim its territory, especially if we give it a chance by minimizing the human pressure. So it all starts with education. Every human being must learn to live in a way that we can protect the ocean. We have to take all responsibility to care for the ocean because it sustains life. As I always say, every breath we take comes from the ocean. And if we protect the ocean, we will be protecting ourselves. Less than the 20% of the ocean has been explored. It is astonishing how we have named most of the geographical landmarks on Mars, and yet in our own planet, with 2/3 of its surface covered in water, much remains unknown. So, when I began my oceans career, I realized that the ocean had two big problems. One, humans, And the other one that is the most significant and deeper than any oceanic trench is the gender gap that exists in ocean engineering. Nowadays, women only represent 1.2% of the global workforce in the maritime sector. This is due to a combination of gender stereotypes and also a big lack of female role models. So this hard truth and reality that we are living is that there are a few women in leadership positions whom we, the women that work in this industry, can look up to as role models. So this absence of female mentors was and is continuing to be a significant challenge. But, however, instead of being or feeling discouraged by this reality, I decided to take a different approach. I realized that if I didn't have a female mentor or a female role model, I would have to become my own guide. So this has been a path full of challenges, but also of discoveries and personal growth. This is part of my team in the US. Notice something? It's just me and 4 men in a sub conducting a test dive. I can assure you that on surface, all the team were men. There was any woman except from me, and this happens in most of the operations that I am involved. But now, let's see. This is our team in Barcelona. So we are 18 men and 3 women. So this has been improved because when I started 3.5 years ago, I was the only female at the office. I was the only female engineer hired. Now we are 3. But there's a lot left to do. Unfortunately, this is our reality. We cannot always find someone who has walked our path before us, which means that we can be pioneers. That happened to me because one of my dreams was to becoming a sub-pilot, and I didn't have any female mentor. All my mentors or role models were men. Last July, I became one of the youngest women in diving into 1,000 meters in the Mediterranean Sea, piloting the sub during the ascent to the surface. The message that I want to say today is that we can be the guides we need. We can inspire the next generation of women. I encourage all women out there to be the change in the world, the change that you wish you want to see in the world, because there's a lack of women representative, and especially in this world. Don't forget that the ocean is vast and unexplored, just like our potential. So let's not let the absence of female role models hold us back. Let's be our own guides. Barriers cannot stop us. Let me tell you something. The ocean has a balance, but we do not. It is time to change that. Thank you very much.